So last time in class we talked about, we started talking about complex numbers. Complex numbers used one of our special number called an imaginary number, which is represented by the letter I. And the way that we know what I is based on our identity, that I squared equals -1, all right? And remember that this is imaginary because normally I doesn't exist. Because if we were to write I in its regular form, it would be I equals the square root of -1. And as you remember, we can't have the square root of any number. So our general form for complex numbers is A plus B times our imaginary number I, where A and B are real numbers. So examples of some kind of A plus BI would be like 6 plus 5i, or 9 minus 3i, because in this case A is 9 and B is -3. Or we could say like 11 plus 10i. All these are in the form of a complex number. So when we're looking at adding and subtracting these different numbers, we will be comparing a couple different things. So let's look at some kind of basic computation of this. So let's say I want to add 4 plus 3i, this number, plus 6 plus 2i. Now, if we're looking at this as an addition, what do you think would be the first thing we do, Steve?
Well, the real and imaginary parts are separate, so you can add the real parts. So 4 plus 6 is 10.
Yeah. 4 plus 3i plus 6 plus 2i. And we can switch the numbers around. So then we'll have 4 plus 6 plus 3i plus 2i. And by reapplying our parentheses here, we could say 4 plus 6 is 10. And then for 3i plus 2i, we're going to keep our I as the same thing, so just I. And then we're going to add 3 plus 2, which gives us 5. So 4 plus 3i plus 6 plus 2i gives us 10 plus 5i. Now, if we're looking at, if we were doing addition, but let's say we have some kind of subtraction instead. So I'm going to use the same example. So I'm going to do 4 plus 3i minus 6 plus 2i. Now, if we try to do the same steps we did before, it should work out sort of the same, but just a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once again, first get rid of our parentheses, but this negative is going to impact this term. So if I'm going to write all these out, I'm going to have 4 plus 3i. And then if I have here minus 6 plus 2i, then what am I going to have when I rewrite this down here when the parentheses are gone, Alex? Because remember, if we had a number that was like 4 minus 6, or we said 4 plus -6, that's the same as saying 4 minus 6, which is -2. And then we can realign these, so we would have 4 minus 6 plus 3i minus 2i. And then we can put our parentheses around again. And we have 4 minus 6, which is -2. And then we would have 3i minus 2i, which is
I.
I, just I. So we have negative 2 plus I. Simple. Now, if we had any kind of term that, like, if we had some complex number, 4 plus, I'll just keep using the same one, 4 plus 3i plus, just 6. If we had 4 plus 3i plus 6, what do you think would be our answer? Steve?
Well, you can think of the 6 as 6 plus 0i, and then so you just add 6 and the 4 again, 10, 3 plus 0 is 3.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, since this is our only I term, we just not touch it, we'll leave it the same. So plus 3i, and then we'll have 4 plus 6, so just 10 plus 3i. And in the same way, if we had something like 4 plus 3i plus just, actually no, we'll do minus. If we had 4 plus 3i minus just 2i, we take away the parentheses, we'll redistribute that negative into each of our terms on the right side. So 4 plus 3i minus 2i. This 4 will just be 4, won't be affected. So 4, and then 3i minus 2i, which is as we had done there, is just I. So we can do complex addition or subtraction with two complex terms, doing it with a complex term and a real number, or a complex term and an imaginary number. So I have a little bit of group work. So if you guys get in two pairs, you guys are going to be creating a chain together with the math that you do. So I'm going to give you a number to start with. So for example, if we start like 3 plus 3i, I want you to come up with an addition and subtraction. So I'll just say addition. And then I want you to come up with your own complex number. For our real values, try to keep between 10 and negative 10. So I'll just, like, for example, I'll say, so if I provide this one for you, then you can fill in 4 plus 5i. Do that computation, and that'll give you 7 plus 8i. And then your partner is going to work from 7 plus 8i, come up with your own number, do that computation, and give you another number. And I want you to do it back and forth with that twice. So by the end of it, we should have 4 different computations on the sheet. You add or subtract a complex number, and then you do that computation,
Okay.
and then you give that, and then with that answer, you're going to give it back to Nick, and he's going to do the same thing.
You mean hard for yourself?
He'll solve it.
Plus signs, that's good all day.
Nick, you're going to add or subtract
Yes.
from, so you're going to create your own term to add or subtract to 2 plus 7i. You're going to solve it, and then you give it back to Steve. That's okay, that's okay. So so Steve started with minus 3 plus 2i, and then he created 5 plus 5i.
You tell whose handwriting it is.
And then he did the sum, so negative 3 plus 5, got the 2, and then 2i plus 5i, gave it 7.
His solution was.
Yeah, take his solution, add another one, yeah, so you're gonna keep going. That's okay, that's alright. Just make sure you put like S and N above like the number you guessed. Just so I can keep track of it. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic.
So, you're gonna take your chain, hold on to it, you're gonna turn it in the next class for the both of you. And I'm, short worksheet, a couple more computations.
There's more. I'm not doing this math anymore. This was fun.
And then, so you have until the end of class to do it. Once you're done with it, just turn it back into me. If you don't complete it by the end of this class, then you can just finish it at home and turn it in the next class. And you'll just turn it in with your sheet. And then once you guys are done, you're free to go. If you have any questions before the end of the bell, then feel free to ask me.